back here at Keiser.
Yes.
Spring day one. How'd it go out there?
I'm very excited for the guys. I told the guys I want to make sure we see the consistency within it. Everybody is ready to go for the first day, and I thought these guys did a really good job with the energy and the details that we possessed during practice. But I want to see how we continue to do, the next practices as we work our way through spring ball.
Now, clearly, this wasn't the best weather day, but as a coach, at least, how do you prefer? You got the rain, or you got the elements. You can see how they perform in that.
Yeah, I performed. I like to see the heat. I like when it's hot outside and we can get the most out of it. I told the guys, it's cool and rainy. Obviously, it's part of the ball security, different things that we can focus on that. But I want the sun to be out. I want it to be hot and really, push forward within the heat. But we got to control the controllables. At the end of the day, it was raining today, but I thought the team did a pretty good job of, making sure that they protect the football.
Yeah, selfish you to rather be dry and have them getting sweaty and running in the heat.
Exactly.
What are you most looking forward to about, this is year 3 now, right?
Yes. It goes by so fast. No, I like I told you before, I want to continue to see the consistency within the program, the sustainability within it as well. And I think we have done a great job these first 2 years. But at the end of the day, how can we continue to move forward? And I thought, right now I feel really good where we at. We have a very young team, so the guys going to get a lot more opportunities that haven't been getting those opportunities the years before, and then we have to locate those guys and how we can get them better, and that's what the spring is all about, making sure what kind of team we have, and obviously if we need to get some more guys to be a part of it, we'll do so. But we always been high school up and building up these guys, so I'm very excited of our young guys have an opportunity to take that next step.
How many actual newcomers do you have here for the spring between transfers and maybe even freshmen?
Yeah. So the freshmen would come in the next fall. In terms of transfers, we only got like 2 or 3 guys that came in the spring. Not many, but that's what I like. I like to really see what the team is looking like in the spring, so I can again see what we need to do better as a staff and who we might need to get. So we might add a couple more guys later on after this spring. But I'm really excited for our recruits that come in the fall and see what they can do as well.
You talked about what you need to do better. I mean, most programs would kill for back-to-back runner-up finishes, but I know that Keiser Seahawks, y'all strive to drop a red banner.
Yes.
What do you think is going to be the biggest difference that starts this spring to make sure y'all get there?
One thing we're doing, we're focusing on the process, and everything that leads up to that, and wherever we end up. I think last year we were so focused on that. I think we should have been of getting back and getting our redemption. It was like a redemption tour and getting back to it. We wasn't able to get it done. This year I just want to focus on the process, and wherever that lands us, but understand that we're going to be focused on those details within it, and then hopefully at the end of the day we can have that red banner. But it's a long ways from now. This is where it starts right now, and we have a lot of opportunities to go from there.
You talked about youth showing up a lot. Where's the youth most? What position group do you feel like you got to?
Yeah. So we, also we're going to have a new quarterback. We have a quarterback competition that I'm very excited about the quarterbacks that we have. We lost our entire D-line, our starting D-line. So really getting those guys some more opportunities and getting those guys right. And then receivers as well. We lose Rico Portia. We lose a couple of different guys. Smiley Edwards as well. So it's a lot of that's football. That's college football now, and then at the offensive line position as well, losing 3 starters. So I'm so excited about the team and the guys, preparing themselves to be ready. We always talk about guys preparing you for the place he has prepared for you. And, right now those guys have been getting prepared and they have a spot right now to, make sure that they're ready for. So really, really excited for them.
I know you are a former running back and a running backs coach at one point. I'm curious to you as a head coach, which position actually is a quarterback's best friend on the field with the way that you conceptualize things? I'm seeing in the NFL a lot of teams are getting their quarterback a lead running back. Usually people say a wide receiver one, maybe a tight end, maybe a tackle. To you, what's the quarterback's best friend?
At the end of the day, it starts at the line of scrimmage for me. You got to protect them. One thing that's part of our core values is that we're going to run the football and we're going to stop the run. I think that allows the quarterback to be himself, that he has a running game within himself, and that starts at the line of scrimmage. Because the talent is going to be there. And I think we, being in South Florida, being able to get a lot of guys from this area, area. We're going to have some guys on the outside on a consistent basis, but that line of scrimmage is so important for us. And so I think they're his best friends, and I think if he has any quarterback, the guys up front, they're going to help him out in everything that they can.
The ones doing all the grunt work.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
For you then, you have a lot of experience dealing with open quarterback competitions here. Every position, it seems like every year is up for grabs. How have you managed this quarterback room? Because how many of these guys are actual returners?
Yeah. So and that's what it's about. We have two guys that really our three guys are returners in some capacity. So it's they've been part of this program and they know what we're about. I think Shea Spencer was a blessing for us. Because not only he was a talented athlete, but he was a coach on the field. But allowing those guys being able to see how he worked every day, I think is really big. I give a lot of props to our assistant coaches as well. Not just at the quarterback position, but all the positions that we have. But we're specifically talking with the quarterbacks with Coach Knock and our office coordinator, making sure they're in the lab and studying all the different things that they need to do so they can be prepared. So these guys have been doing a great job. I'm just excited. It's just the first day, but it's a consistency that comes along with it.
And how does a quarterback stand out in a competition like this that is wide open and anybody can get?
Controlling the room. I think that's leadership. Like I said, all these guys are so talented, but so how can they separate themselves? Controlling the room, controlling the huddle, making sure that they're not making the little mistakes, all the details that come along with it. So everything that we preach as a team, I want them to take that to the next level for themselves and make sure it works off to the rest of the team as well.